Hey everybody, welcome back to Champ and Sons and our Planet Coaster series, where we're trying to finish up a lot of the stuff around the new Demon Drop coaster. That primarily is going to end up being the exit station, I guess exit house really, where you have the gift shop and everything like that, coming off from the end of the coaster. And we had a pretty good spot planned out before. We have gotten it kind of fenced off camera. So we have been doing some work off camera, which is pretty standard. But I wanted to go ahead and get this exit building done today in this episode so we could get the gift shop in. And we could really kind of get closer to having the ride completed. I will still be doing some work off camera, a little, probably to do some of the queue stuff and all that. But I think when we were building this, it really turned out pretty well for what we were looking at doing, right? It came along first, with it being the gray and everything, pretty standard, so nothing too extravagant there. But I really like how it's going to turn out. It's going to fit with the aesthetic of the Demon Drop coaster, and it really does work out pretty well for us. Now these big spaces, obviously anybody who's seen me build these exit houses knows I generally like to put in fairly big windows. One, just for the lighting of it, primarily, but two, I think it just looks better having the windows instead of a solid, I guess, whether it be brick, wood, plaster building, it just seems better to have the windows in there, so I do like to put them in, especially if you're walking by, because we are going to include gift shops and everything into it, so it kind of really works out for us in the end, to add the windows in. That way you can see. It's one of those things that if you're not even on the ride, it draws you in, right? We did put in a picture booth or a on-ride photo, so we are going to add in the on-ride photo section here to this into this gift shop area. So we will have that put in. We'll make sure to get those pictures going. We're going to get a lot of different stuff set up in this. It's a pretty decent build, I think, the way it turns out. We do some final decoration around the building itself as well to really bring everything together. So I think it turns out pretty well. But definitely at this point, I'm going to let y'all kind of tune myself out, my lovely voice out. And y'all can listen to some tunes while we get this thing built up. And I will be back with y'all here in just a wee bit, folks. So as you see, we took from the original sign essentially the demon kind of shrunk it down some, and I think it works out pretty well there. I wish they had a lava thing. If they do, I just can't find it. Like, I wish they did. I think that would be better than the fire, but overall it works pretty well, and in reality it'd all be completely fake fire, so it's not something that'd be a massive fire hazard or anything like that. So I really like how this turned out, having that there. It really helped kind of bring everything together from the original ride sign. And then these trees, I think, work fairly well to kind of add to the aesthetic. I need to put some tree work in there. You know, obviously you got to have some form of foliage. So you'll see me placing some things in and around the track just a little bit, because, you know, it's not, very rarely is it ever going to be perfectly clear. But I really like how this thing got brought together in that way. And really we had the connection from the opening, from the major sign on the other area, right here to the right in front of the gift shop, having that kind of sign. Now, I needed to put up some of the fencing and stuff around the path work here on the exit path so you don't fall off. That's a big deal. You don't want to fall off. You don't want to have people falling off. So it's just going through adding these in. These are pretty basic ones. I guess you could say technically they are more modern. I don't really know if I'd call them modern or old school, but either way, I think they work out for the area fairly well. And it really just came down to needing to get them in to kind of block stuff off. And I didn't want to go too extravagant with it, even though I know we have the coaster segment right there. You got the queue line. Once we get everything done and decorated out, we'll have it all pretty well set up. And safety features put in to prevent people from doing idiotic things. And this is one of those idiotic things you're seeing us try to prevent people from doing, so we're putting in a fence. And this is a pretty basic fence. I don't like to always fence off the whole thing, even though I think that's what makes more sense, is to technically fence it all off, just for the simple fact that in reality, people are stupid, and it's not that difficult to see someone lose a hat and do something stupid, right? So you would want to have some fencing, some higher protocols in around the area. But these are Planet Coaster peeps, so we're going to add some basic fencing just to give it that realistic feel. I don't think I'm going to go around the whole track yet. I haven't really decided that. It just wouldn't feel right to me if we did that, is all I'm saying. But here, these are all the track pieces that are around the queue line. So even though I know the queue doesn't have a fencing right now, which we are going to put up eventually, it's not going to be in this episode. But we are going to put some of the fencing up around the queue. So yeah, it's one of those, I don't stress about it too much, but I do understand, just to give it that realistic feel. And I think coming off the coaster, watching that thing come around, if you've already got to be worried about the fencing hitting you, I think it sets the tune for the rest of the coaster. The fear of, oh my God, I'm going to get my hands chopped off. And I think that's worthy. I think it's worth it to have it on there. So we do outline that in a little fence section. And I'm checking, and yeah, it gets a little close. It gets a little close over there, right near the lift hill. But that's okay. All right, I can deal with that. Now, around the station, I wanted to go with something just slightly different. And so we did. We chose, it is still just a regular fence, like, don't get me wrong, but it definitely looks, I guess you could say, more modern than what the queue line or what the pathway fencing is for the ride. So I definitely like how this thing turned out. It comes through pretty well and completely, I think, adds a little element to the station and to the coaster, to be honest with you. No, that's not the right piece. See, that fit perfectly right there. And I probably could have just moved that one over, but I just don't like how that feels. I don't know. It just seems wrong. Like, looking at it, it just feels off. Like, does it not when you're sitting here staring at it like I am? So I am going to try to put this brick in, but I'm not going to stick it all the way out. And I think that's where the main problem came in, is it stuck all the way out now. Though that looks a lot better, and I just couldn't let that go. Like, I just could not let that go. It was hammering at me too much, so I did have to finally fix it. Now this is just another little aesthetic part, just trying to clear up. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think about this, covering up these little exit boxes and stuff like that. We're also going to do the same thing on the other side with the entrance boxes. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are on that, and getting those things kind of covered up and blocked off to fit the remainder of the station. So here, it's pretty big. I don't use the pass supports. Now, if I did, I technically could have just left it as it is, but I don't know. It just didn't feel right to do that, essentially. So I went on ahead and tried to block it off, so that way at least you don't see it. Made me feel better about it. Like I said, I could just turn on pass supports, and we're talking about something that would essentially be a non-issue, but I don't know. Makes me feel better like that. Now what you're seeing me do here is we are going to put in little storage containers, and this gave me more fits than anything, and you'll see I go through it a couple times just because of the damn mouse clicks, and I'm trying to do stuff easier, you know what I mean? So set out one thing, then I can just copy and paste it, but no, every single time it wouldn't let me do that. Like, I don't know what it was. It just would not let me do it. So I'm going to go through a few iterations before I finally accept my fate and understand what I have to do. It's just the way it goes sometimes. That's just how things work out in Planet Coaster, right? So we are going to get that done. Now, there are going to be some cinematic shots of the Demon Drop here at the end of the episode, folks. I just want to say, hang on tight. It's going to be a fun one. You'll get some great shots of this coaster in full action. With people on it and everything, and it looks really damn good, I could say. So here we are. What is it? I did say multiple iterations of this. I think it's like my third or fourth in reality. Yeah, I'm just flipping. I'm gonna have to. I realized for some reason whenever I tried to click on it, my mouse would just click on the coaster station and not this, or something like that, and it just wasn't cutting it. So I had to piece by piece. And you'll see. Oh, let me fold it sideways. Make it change the color, boom, 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 place them in. Yeah, it became tedious, but I think it looks pretty good. Now, when you're standing on the outside, do you actually see that? No, not in the least bit, but that's not the point, I guess, in reality. So it just made me feel better to put them in all honesty. That's really what that boils down to have these little storage. They're not containers, it's just storage shelves for people to place stuff on whenever they're getting on the ride. And so yeah, this is going to be one of the last things kind of we build. We got about another minute or so until we get to the cinematic shots. Now, while we are putting these shelves in and stuff, I do just want to remind y'all to hit that subscribe button if you have not hit it already. Okay, and if you did like today's video, you're liking how the park is working out, definitely give us a thumbs up. If you have any suggestions for what you want to see in the park, maybe whether it be rides, coasters, in a different area, let me know. Put that down in the comments, and we'll see what we can do to get it added into this park. So here's the little lighting. It's funny, I made it midnight, and look at how bright it is out there. But I needed to put some lights in. I generally like to light up the thing. I just didn't want to use the regular kind of lights that we use for Blue Streak to go up with the queue or with the chain lifts. I prefer to have these little segmented lights here. I think it works better. Adds a little bit more of an ambiance to a coaster. It's supposed to be scary. You know, that's all I'm gonna say. All right, guys, we are getting pretty damn close to the cinematic viewpoint. So I'm going to go ahead and drop off from here, guys. Hang tight and let that thing finish, and I will see y'all in the next episode. So as always, everybody, stay safe, enjoy the cinematic shots, and, well, y'all know how it goes from here, right? Later, y'all.